I just got back from the further for this episode of Ghouls, Guts, and Gore Saw It to review Insidious Chapter 2. Insidious 2 picks up immediately after the events of the first film. You may want to revisit that one because there's a lot of specific callbacks in this sequel. I actually went to the double feature screening of both of them again, and I was glad I did because, like I said, there's a lot of little details that are in this second one that call back to the first one. At the end of the first Insidious, we find out Josh has returned from the further possessed by the creepy black-veiled witch from his childhood. Now, the sequel really focuses on Josh, and he's possessed pretty much through the whole film, and we get that backstory of who that creepy black-veiled person really is. The movie opens with a flashback in 1986 when Elise first meets Josh. We go back to the present where we find out the Lambert family never really got away from the hauntings, and Josh definitely is not himself. My question going into this film was what would distinguish it from the first film? Right off the bat, I'm happy to say we no longer have the Darth Maul-faced demon from the first film. Focusing the sequel on the black-veiled ghost is actually way more interesting. I like a lot of things they do to connect the sequel to the first film, and the way they unravel the ghost story is actually done in a way that I didn't expect. One of the coolest things about Insidious and now Insidious Chapter 2 are the random ghost sightings emerging from the further. We get more of that here, but less so, because the sequel relies more heavily on Patrick Wilson giving a creepy performance as a possessed version of Josh. He pretty much plays this to the exact same beat as Jack Nicholson in The Shining, which works okay. There's a new character named Carl, who basically takes on the role of Elise, being able to communicate with the spirit world. He does this by asking a question, and he has a bunch of dice that he rolls, and the letters on the dice basically spell out an answer that the spirits might be communicating with them. The reason I bring this up is because there's a great scene when Josh and Carl first meet. Patrick Wilson's acting really reminds me of Jack in The Shining in this scene. His performance overall is solid, but just doesn't send the same chill down your spine as some of the more creepy or supernatural moments from the further. On a lighter note, paranormal investigators Specs and Tucker return to this film, which I like. They provide the comedic relief like the first one, but they get more moments, and Tucker has some really funny scenes as well. He might be my favorite character in these two films, and I share his love for Hot Pockets. So does Chapter 2 work as well as the first Insidious? Overall, I'd say it does. I was along for the ride because I really liked the backstory that they create for the black-veiled ghost. They actually give that character some dimension. It's not just a ghost, there's some motive there, and a pretty interesting backstory. I don't want to give too much away, but we get introduced to a new character in this one, which leads to another setting in a separate house that has some really good creepy moments. I want to say the first Insidious was better, but then I think about it again, and there's some things I like better in Chapter 2, mainly no fiery demon antagonist. While possessed Josh doesn't work as well as some of the creepier things that come out of the further, I still love what director James Wan is able to do with the random sightings of ghouls and ghosts in the house. Joseph Bishara returns as the composer. He's as good as he was in the first one with the random stuttering string noises that just keep you tense and on the edge of your seat. It's a good wrap up to the hauntings of the Lambert family and actually leaves this world open-ended as we're introduced to a new family at the end of the film. Hopefully this leads to a deeper, darker part of the further in an Insidious Chapter 3. Thanks for watching Saw It. Check out our full episodes of Ghouls, Guts, and Gore. Please subscribe to our channel and message us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram your thoughts on Insidious 2.